Hello, thanks for tuning in. It's Husain's ID at salesandmarketingforyou.com, separated by hyphens. And by the way, before I go any further, the U is apostrophized. I don't know if that's a word. I don't know if I just made it up. I hope you get the point. Apostrophe, quotation marks, air quotes. Thank you, Michael Keaton. Did anyone see him at the awards there, the Oscars? Birdman is a great movie, very complex, very twisted. It's essentially an amazing coup d'etat by the director Alfonso Cuarón. Okay, so you take a commercial concept movie, actor, script, mainstream, Hollywood, Broadway, Naomi Watts, Edward Norton Jr., right? Michael Keaton, Alfonso Cuarón, he did Children of Men, obviously, and then he did Mamma Mia, y tu mama not Mamma Mia, sorry, tu mama también, and Your Mom Too in Spanish. It's actually, honestly, in my impression, a very vulgar, salacious kind of movie about two teenage boys that go end up going on this road trip with this really hot older lady, and they both end up sleeping with her, and it's very risque would be the word, right? Romeo, India, Sierra, Q is Q. No idea what that is. Q entity, umbrella, Echo. All right, so enough said about that. It's a great movie. Michael Keaton, thank you. Air quotes. Apostrophized. The you is your customer. My dear viewer, you have a customer. If you have a mouth and a brain and eyes and ears, you have a customer. All that means is that as humans, we communicate with other people. Every time this thing called your mouth, aka gob trap, opens up, it's called sales. You might as well cross the word communication out of the dictionary and replace it with sales. We're communicating this important message to you. So comes the announcement over the loudspeaker. What does it mean? It means they're trying to brainwash you, obviously. They're trying to sell you something. They are, on the one hand, reasserting their authority, and on the second hand, you as a loyal subject, because if you're listening to someone over the loudspeaker, you're at radio, army barracks, army, fallout shelter, I have no idea. But if there's a loudspeaker there and some kind of announcer, hey, if you're lucky, you're at a Blue Jays game. I'm kind of rambling on incessantly, as is my wont. My dear viewer, if you're watching this, I'm hoping you've seen at least one of my other videos and that you like the concept of an infinity loop. As you can see, you're staring right into the eye of infinity. Now, enough said about something that's off subject. This is a professional sales and marketing video. I'll keep it on point. Everything in sales and marketing is already out there, folks. It's been written down. It's in books. You can pick up a great book on cold calling. I guarantee you, if you are interested in becoming a better cold caller, I guarantee you can do it, my dear viewer. If you want to be a better cold caller, what you need to do is gain the knowledge that extreme cold callers have. That's all it is. And actually, here's the cool part of it is that that knowledge self-applies. If it's true knowledge, aka wisdom, knowing it is enough to essentially compel action. What am I mean by this, and why am I rambling off on another digression? It's all very important stuff. Now, I'm hoping if you're smart, you picked up the fact that this is not a marketing book. This is Carlos Castaneda. He's the father of the New Age. I threw that out there as a kind of token to one of my mentors in life, as a gift, as a such, for the sharp people who are watching this, who get one of two things, or both. A, Carlos Castaneda is cool stuff, cool beans. Father of the New Age is no small term, and I don't say it lightly. He is the father of the New Age. He wrote 10 best-selling books. He was a student of anthropology in the 60s at the University of California in Berkeley. He met a fellow by the name of Don Juan Matos, an Indian from the Sonora region in Mexico. Essentially another Indian group that had been banished or exiled by invaders. I'm sorry to say, the so-called white man. Hey, I'm from Pakistan. I dig it. I'm a former colony. Hey, I love cricket. And by the way, English people taught us cricket as well as a bunch of other stuff. It's just like with Pakistan, you've got President Musharraf and then Nawaz Sharif, then Benazir Bhutto, and people might ask, well, who's better? Because it's such a dichotomy, right? Or trichotomy or quadrichotomy, because you've got Ziaul Haq, who was a military dictator in the 80s, and then he got killed in a mysterious aeroplane crash, aka assassinated by the CIA, if you believe the general consensus out there. Basically, someone killed him. It was too good to be true. The guy had absolute domination over the country. He single-handedly created Taliban. Nobody knows about him, obviously. Just like nobody knows about Carlos Castaneda. The Power of Silence is the book you should read, folks. Go to Amazon.ca or Amazon.com or Amazon.nz, wherever you're located. Look inside this book. I guarantee you can open this book anywhere and you're going to be filled with lavishious wisdom which self-applies. I'll provide you an example. I noticed that my eyes were fixed on the movement of his lips, but my ears were fixed on the sound of his words. But once I realized this, I could no longer follow him. My concentration was broken. Don Juan continued talking, but I was not listening. I was wondering about the inconceivable possibility of living permanently in heightened awareness. I asked myself, what would the survival value be? Would one be able to assess situations better, be quicker than the average man, or perhaps more intelligent? That's a paragraph. Now, you may say, well, there's no overflowing wisdom, but I hope you agree it was very compelling. A novel you should be able to open anywhere. Now, I treat these books like novels. They're essentially memoirs or stories, and they're full of wisdom, but they're essentially novels. You open it anywhere and you should be able to just go with the flow. That's why TV series rule, because anyone can sit down. Like these guys the primetime producers and executive producers and writers and directors, these guys come from like Oscar caliber kind of teams. You don't understand. Like the guy who did American Beauty, great movie, by the way. I know I'm going around in circles talking about everything except cold calling. I might as well say there's nothing to be said about cold calling. It's a numbers game. Pick up the phone and call. Pick up the phone and call. Pick up the phone and call. It's like you go to the gym, you've got weights, right? What do you do with weights? Listen, let me give you a little tip. If you've got weights and they're lying around house, every time you see them, what do you do? What do you do every time you see them? Every time you see these weights, you pick them up, you have a mirror, you look at your muscles, and when you start doing stuff like this, you start living a better life because you're working so hard, you're not just going to end up eating pizza, yo, are you? You're not really, are you? Or are you? If you deserve one, if you haven't had one for a week or a month, right? You know what, you're going to take care of yourself because you're exercising so much that you don't want the other guy to look better than you, and you're working like just as hard and all this kind of stuff. And at the same time, let me give you a little tip, my dear viewer, or piece of advice on food. And by the way, we'll do it on the balcony. Thumbs up for jobs. More jobs. What we need is more Steve Jobs type people. All right, beautiful muggy day in Toronto. Isn't that awesome? Look at this view. My wife's garden is over here. I keep forgetting that. Well, I come out here to talk to you, dear viewer, because it's so beautiful, but I'll be disturbing the neighbors. The second thing is that I might as well tell you that the second thing is that the noise out there actually interrupts my speech patterns. Cold calling is a numbers game. I had a discussion with a lady called Grace today. Grace visited my website, salesandmarketingforyou.com, separated by hyphens. The you is apostrophized. It means your customer. As in Microsoft saying, what are you going to do today? Nike saying, just do it. It is a marketing concept, which means don't talk about yourself, your company, your product, your great cars flying through the air. I love car ads. They really set me off. I can't stand car ads. I contacted Mercedes Canada. VP of marketing gets back to me with several of his folks CC'd on the email. Next time I contacted him, but he brushed me off. He gave me the usual rubbish. It's just all excuses. Oh, we have an agent or an agency. Like, advertising agencies are the worst. Those guys are devils in disguise as far as I'm concerned. I don't mind saying so. Hey, listen, you don't have guys like Ben Bernanke and yeah, there's a guy called Ben Bernach, Bernach, Bravo Echo Radio November Alpha Charlie Hotel. And he's like one of the fathers of advertising. I got an article on my website called The History of Advertising. And so I had to research all these things. There's a guy called Lassiter. There's all kinds of interesting and amazing characters. There's this guy who wrote this ad, and people who are familiar with advertising will know what I'm talking about. He wrote this amazing, like, it was all about the wording in the past. You just had this one page advertisement in a newspaper or a pamphlet or a magazine, and a picture and then words, and like it was go, like that's a stopwatch. Go. Let's see what you can do with it. And then guys like David Ogilvy come along, and he's doing the same thing into the 60s. And then people are like, well, you've got television today, you've got, at least you got radio, and now you got the internet, and you got so many advertising channels. You've got online advertising, you've got text-based advertising, or it should be an image. Should I have my Google ads like horizontal, or should I have them flying this way? And it's become this macabre science. Macabre is a great word, huh? Macabre means basically a gong show in terms of being horrific. It's a horror show. To a person like me, I'm horrified by what I see out there in the advertising world. Anyway, Lassiter and this guy Kennedy or Capash or something, I got his PDF of his ad on my website. www.salesandmarketingforyou.com, separated by hyphens. The U is apostrophized. It means your customer. Okay, so I'm trying to teach people in the marketing industry about marketing. Okay, what does that mean? Very quickly, the ad, I might as well describe it. People in the advertising industry are familiar with this ad. It's a very famous ad. I feel compelled to try and look it up on my computer. Let's just go to my website and see if we can find this sucker. So I should have my website open here somewhere, but for the fact, oh yeah, here we go. Obviously I have it open on my own page. That's me, like circa like 2008. I'd like to say I'm raised in the UK, and I've worked for Fortune 500 caliber companies. I've worked for smaller companies. But all of the smaller companies I work for, by the way, there are three of them, and they're all Deloitte and Touche Fast 50 companies. Now, I said that I had an article called The History of Advertising. Let me see if I can find it. Well, here's an article called What is Advertising? You'll notice the keyword is what is advertising. Why did I write an article on what is advertising? Well, dear viewer, if you're interested in SEO, I have a section on my website, SEO plus M. Search engine optimization and marketing. I'm not going to digress and take you there. I've got a couple of lights in this article. Hey, listen, a couple is way better than none. You understand? A couple means that people found my website, came there, read it, all this kind of stuff. And afterwards, that 1 out of 100 people actually clicked it. In fact, I can tell you hundreds, if not thousands of people have read that article. The reason I think, I'll play the racial card at this point. I think people don't take me seriously because I'm brown. I bike around town singing at the top of my lungs sometimes because I'm so frustrated. I'll be like, oh, don't hate me because I'm brown. Don't hate me because I like to fool around downtown without a frown. And people are staring at me and I'll be like, don't hate me. And they're like, I deserve a reward. Happy birthday, fucker. I had that balloon on the back of my bike. It was amazing. I was riding around downtown and I was telling people, It's a song, like a lyric from Faith No More song. Happy birthday, fucker. Blow those candles out. We're gonna kick you. It's a great song, The Gentle Art of Making Enemies. I was riding around telling people happy birthday, saying happy birthday to them, and then they stare at me like, what the, Look, I'm sorry. You probably think I'm a villain by now. You should be, I guess, if you're conditioned correctly in terms of socially conditioning in this society and day and age, you should be morally outraged. Who the hell does this guy think he is? Bunny hopping over sidewalks, all this rubbish, and screaming at the top of my lungs just to get it out. It's a Zen practice. I dare say it's a Zen practice. You go into the jungle, you scream at the top of your damn lungs. For as loud as you can, for as long as you can. Say what you can, sing whatever. You'll be like, the guy's a barbarian. I came to this website looking for some juicy information on sales and marketing, right? How to deceive people is basically why you came to my website, right? You want to learn how to lie to people, but lie in such a fashion that they believe you. Listen, I've got an easy article about the fact that sales is just about being nice. All right, just about being nice. And I want to show you this article, but you can find this stuff. History of advertising. It references this famous ad. This ad just changed history. A guy singing on a piano, and the copy and the tagline says something like, "When he started playing, nobody could take their eyes off him." What a powerful tagline! And some guy on a piano, and you're thinking, "What is this? Is this an ad, or is what's going on here?" Now you know it's an ad because you're familiar with the format. Picture surrounded by a bunch of words. You're looking at this thing and you're like, what the hell is this trying to sell me? Unfortunately, you're stuck at that point. And the ad is not going to answer that question for you that easily, my dear reader or viewer. You're going to be reading the ad and you're going to be on the hook. You'll be obsessed somehow over judging whether or not this is a good ad based on your power over the guy who wrote it. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that the guy who wrote it is obviously trying to persuade you to buy it or something. He's trying to sell something to you, right? Either you're buying it or he's selling it. Is it the same thing? It's not the same thing. It's totally different. One of our modern marketing gurus or sales gurus, same thing by the way. Sales is a subset of marketing. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you go to my homepage on my website, there's a great article, or rather a video, one of my few sales videos where basically I explain the difference between sales and marketing. And by the way, I don't need your money. I got plenty of money. I got more checks than I have time to cash. Do you understand what I'm saying? I talked to this lady, Grace, today. And you go to my homepage, there's obviously an article or a video about the difference between sales and marketing. And the only difference is sales is for single people, marketing is for multiple people. I might as well add that sales, once again, is a subset of marketing. Now, advertising, great stuff. Read about it on my website. Cold calling, I was speaking with Grace this morning. I can show you the entry from her contact form submission on my website. She basically is my ideal customer, which means that she needs real help real bad. And she basically said, I'm at my wit's end. I just started this new job recruiting people and I'm having a hell of a time making cold calls. Can you help me? I called her right away. I drilled into her the basic reality of this life in sales, which is it's a numbers game. If you talk to enough people, you're going to meet all kinds of people. Babe, if you talk to enough people, you're going to meet criminals. You're going to meet gangsters. You'll meet writers. You'll meet directors. Keep talking to people. Just keep talking. Pink Floyd song. Numbers. So before giving her any juicy information or whatever, this so-called self-applying knowledge of mine, I got it into her head that it's hard work. It's hard work. It's a career choice. If you can't do it, get another job. And it's a numbers game. You have to find two things: an interested person and a person who's qualified. Qualification process is a dual process. The customer is trying to figure you out and you're trying to figure them out. The customer is trying to figure your product or service out and you are trying to figure their organization out. That's why a salesperson by de facto is an organizational consultant. I recently begun introducing myself as an organizational consultant, and I'm happy to say I'm getting some great results. Why? Because no one is really bold enough to tout themselves as an organizational consultant, but I dare say any salesperson worth his salt is an organizational consultant. Before you even open your damn gob trap and say anything to your customer, you better have researched the organization if you're worth your salt. Now, if you're some telemarketer doing his thing, that's another deal, baby. That's a different game. I don't mind that at all. I love telemarketing. I love boiler rooms. You should see some of the cats that work in there, and the ladies, unbelievable women of power. Women, I mean, women are amazing anyway. I don't want to get caught in another digression. I told Grace it's numbers. It's hard work. You're looking for an interested person. You're looking for a qualified person. You can't create interest, and you can't create out of nowhere. Like if some guy's not qualified and he's your company's not the best fit for him, you can't superimpose some kind of schmegma in your imagination onto a picture of reality that is presenting itself to your intellectual capacity and capabilities. I'll give you a minute to think about that. You want to sell something so bad, you're going to talk to anyone. You're wasting your time talking to the VP of marketing, and the VP of sales has the pen that's going to sign the damn check. You're wasting your time talking to some mid-level manager. The guy only has two things on his mind. Who the hell is he? What does he want? Slash, does he have anything worth talking about? Or is he just a damn idiot working for another stupid company? Slash, my job. Everyone's interested in their job. Everyone's interested in looking good to their peers and to their boss. I am, you are, everyone is. Why not? Why would you not be? Are you stupid? Are you not progressive? Are you regressive? You know what? You probably think I'm a moron, like talking weightlifting and eating all this pizza, but by the way, that's all I'm going to eat. I'm going to put the rest of this back because, here's the thing. You can indulge now, but you're going to pay the price later. You can have this great marketing campaign that is also subtly deceptive. Also, you get bonus points for sales. You suddenly put out this campaign and you got all these sales. We've suddenly got 100 orders like in the first hour. And buddy's like, how did you do that? VP of marketing or your CEO is like, how the hell did you guys manage that? And if you're an honest guy, rather, if you're basically, just give me a second. Listen, everyone wants to impress their boss. But if you've lied in your marketing campaign, you're now faced with a tough choice. Are you going to lie to your boss, or are you going to be honest and reveal yourself as a liar to customers? You're screwed. Therefore, read my e-zine/blog. It's right underneath you on the left-hand side menu. Right at the top it says home. Then it says you and apostrophes, exclamation marks, air quotes. Thank you, Michael Keaton. Underneath you is e-zine. It should be there. In fact, I've changed it to blog just to make it more user-friendly. I like the term e-zine, but it's a bit ahead of its time, or it never kind of clicked, one of the two. By the way, if you're doing anything tonight, that's great. If you're not, go to Gary Vaynerchuk's YouTube channel. Yeah, it's actually spelled exactly how it sounds, but without the C before the K. Vayner, Victor, Alpha, Yellow, November, Echo, Radio, Charlie, Hotel, Umbrella, Kilo, Vaynerchuk, like Chuck, like Charles, Chuck, the name Charles, but it's Chuck without a C. Vaynerchuk. He has an empire suitably dubbed the Vayner Media Group. They do everything in terms of social media marketing. I got articles on my website about social media marketing. I'll just leave my screensaver on now to distract those of you that need some eye candy and that are missing the boat here and not really getting what I'm saying. What am I saying? Pick up the phone and call. You saw the weights? You saw me pick them up. You saw me eat my pizza. I'm not just talking the talk. You have a phone there? Pick it up and call. You'll be like, where's your phone? My phone's right here. My phone doesn't get off the hook. Or is not on the hook. My phone is voicemail. I'll make a damn call right now. I'll call these fucking guys and see what they say. Hey, once you've talked to enough people, this is the real secret. You'll love talking to people because you've heard everything and you're like, what are these guys gonna say next? It's like customer tells you something and it's like he thinks he's saying it for the first. Anthony, how you doing?
Not too good, buddy.
Oh God, are you sick too, man?
Yeah, this fucking broad gave me this bullshit.
Oh, all right, listen, man. No worries, no worries. Get some sleep, man. Have a nice, have a nice day, man. Have a nice day, brother. I gotta go to work soon anyway.
Listen, my
Hey, listen, don't worry about it. I'm just giving you a hard time. You know, I don't give an F, man. Hey, listen, listen, Anthony, buddy, listen, Anthony, man, be intellectual. I'm an intellectual. You're an intellectual, brother. It's a privilege for me to stay here. I'm happy owing you. I'm happy if you owe me money because that means that there's more chance that I stay here and you just deduct it from the rent. Do you understand how that works? So see you later, man. Okay, I'll leave you be, man. I got something to take care of here. Take care, man. So that was my landlord, and as you see, I just pulled a sales move on him. He came this close to evicting me. So I went to the landlord tenant. I got it written down here somewhere, like landlord tenant board or some crap. I'm a sales guy. I went there. I filled out some paperwork. I filed it. I'm waiting for notices. He thinks that I've actually stopped them and I told them that I don't want to do it. And they said, okay, write us a letter, blah, 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 reference number, and all this rubbish. I said, what if we just don't show up for the meetings? For the landlord tenant board. I said my landlord's entering my suite without my permission, and and basically what he's doing, folks, I'll tell you, he'll probably murder me. I mean, this is the ghetto. I'll tell you, this is 375 Bleecker at Bloor and Sherborne. It's a Toronto community housing building. Why? Because I was married to this beautiful lady from Colombia, and after 7 years of marriage, I started acting like such an asshole that she was forced to live in a shelter. Now, after that, after like 3 to 4 years of living in a shelter, this poor baby from Colombia, who's actually older than me and the smartest fucking person on this planet as far as I'm concerned, she ends up in a Toronto community housing apartment, which I'm sitting in, by the way. And my own apartment is down the hall. I don't have time to show it to you. I'm going to wrap it up here at 30 minutes. Find someone who's interested. Find someone who is qualified. But you do that by having fun calling people. You call people just to chat with them, just to see what's going on in their brain today. This guy today is happy. Tomorrow he's going to be mad at me again. That's human nature. What's he going to do? He's going to evict me. So yeah, this is like the ultimate call. If I piss this guy off, he's not just going to say F you and hang up. He's going to get me evicted. He's going to get the locks changed in the damn place and I'll be out in the street. Literally, he's lived in shelter. I've lived in shelter. There's going to be no other option. So goodbye for now. I'm so happy I'm wrapping this up under half an hour. I'm so happy you visited my website. Why don't you sign up for the blog? Why don't you send me an email? Give me a call, 425-835-3581. I'm at your service. I'll work for you for free. Hey, listen, this is all I ask. Once I've brought you customers, 3, 5, 10, 100, 1,000 or whatever, for a certain amount of time that I work for you, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, however many customers I bring you, you decide however many. I'll give you my judgment of however many I brought you. We'll have the tracking methods in place. You give me 10, 20, 30% of whatever you think is generous to me. And if I bring you more customers, and what do I get out of it? I get the chance to work with you. I get the chance to see your people. I get the chance to understand your company and your marketplace and your customers and solve the 4 fundamental questions of marketing. Who is my customer? Where is my customer? How do I reach my customer? And what do I say to my customer? Goodbye for now. It's Husain at salesandmarketingforyou.com. Cheers.